Step 3, video games. I'm 17 years old and I'm in a dark, quiet room. I'm grunting, I'm sweating, and I'm straining repetitively. I'm in our home gym in the garage working out. My brother's recently got me into weightlifting. It's like this new thing that I'm doing where you lift these weights and you're trying to get bigger muscles, and it seems like super fun. And so I'm here, and last week I hit this weight. So I'm going to look around for the smallest little weight. Here we go, and I'll add that in. And instantly it clicks into my mind that this is the way I progressed on RuneScape, on the video game that I've been addicted to for like 10 years. That the desire to make progress has always been inside me, but it's just been brainwashed, manipulated, and stolen by games, so that I grew up leveling up in video games instead of the real world. So I put the extra weight plate onto the dumbbell, put it onto the other one, and I'm doing bicep curls and literally just thinking where I could have been in life if I started this mindset earlier of leveling up in the real world instead of in the virtual world. Now, there's something super interesting in that same study, the marshmallow experiment. They found that if they complimented or criticized the children for their performance on their work or school, it changed how much they were able to resist the marshmallow. So right here, right now, what do you think would happen if we complimented you, like 4-year-old you, on his little schoolwork whilst you were trying to do the marshmallow experiment? You know, you've got this one marshmallow, but if you wait 15 minutes, you can have these two. If we made you feel good and we complimented you, you'd be much more likely to delay gratification. But the little kids who were criticized and given negative feedback for their schoolwork, they were far more likely to be unable to resist and just eat the one marshmallow right now. And that really made me think of the concept, and you can probably relate to this, of like the somewhat lonely and shy video gamer in high school whose teachers keep giving him like bad grades, and every now and then they shout at him and he doesn't feel like good in school. He keeps getting this negative feedback. And so he goes home and plays video games. Of course he does. Because with this like quite inhumane education system, some kids don't perform well in it. I didn't. I always got like quite below average grades, like D's and E's, and there was a couple of F's and everything. And my family are quite high performing in this. You know, I'm brown, so my brother performed really well. He got A's and A stars. My sister performed really well. She got A's and A stars. And here's me, like the dumb kid of the family, underperforming every single day, every single exam, underperforming than my brother and my sister, getting compared to them. Getting shouted at by my father. Oh, you didn't study for this one. You didn't revise for this one. Teachers telling me, being angry at me. Sometimes I wasn't able to understand the test or the homework. So imagine that in my life. Where am I going to go other than the virtual world? Because in the real world, I'm failing. I keep messing up. People don't like me. My friends keep like essentially bullying me. Girls don't like me. Teachers are shouting at me. My dad's shouting at me. But in the virtual world, I'm a dragon slayer. In the virtual world, I'm doing quests and killing demons and Dracula and vampires, and I'm doing cool shit. And, I'm quite a high level in there because I've been grinding. And so when I do meet other people in these video games, they actually respect me and give me status and compliment me. A young man is just going to go where his status is higher. He's just going to go where he's complimented and where he feels like a sense of social connection and brotherhood. And when we don't feel that in school, then you are going to go to video games. You are going to form that sort of peer circle of gamers. Can we blame these like teenagers who are totally addicted to video games? I think we have like quite a negative perception of games, don't we? When we look back, we get angry at how much we played them. And that makes me quite offensive to gamers, the way that I talk about them. But I don't even mean to, honestly. Like when I get angry at like video gamers, it's more that I'm just talking about my younger self. But then when I take a moment to reflect and take like a deep breath, I realize it's like, should we be angry at our younger selves who wasted so much time in the virtual world when that was genuinely where he was accepted most? Was it the problem of our younger selves? Or was it a problem of like, probably the education system and maybe our parents? And it's not good to place responsibility onto them. But when you're a child and you're 10 years old, it's like, we're not going to put that much responsibility on a literal child right now. Because if school was more engaging, if I was more involved in like sport, or, I was asked and encouraged to be more into sport and I was trained there, then I'm sure I wouldn't have been as addicted to RuneScape and Minecraft. And I played those games for literally like 15 years straight, hours every day, over 10,000 hours in video games. It's often said that to master a skill, it takes 10,000 hours. And all video gamers know this. It's like you've probably put in 10,000 or maybe more hours into video games. You could have mastered a skill and become at a world level for this one sport, for example. And instead, it's just spread amongst all the games that we have on Steam. So this effect that when you're given negative feedback, it reduces your willpower, your ability to delay gratification. That is very bad for us, but we can actually reframe that, because if we're given positive feedback, if we're given compliments and we're made to feel happy, then we will get like an improvement to our ability to be able to delay gratification and wait for the second marshmallow, and to improve our willpower. And so we can take control of this ourselves. We don't need to wait for the teachers to compliment us. We can do that ourselves. You can do it. Like when you've been hitting a workout, you can manually say positive thoughts in your mind. Often you have to manually, forcefully say like positive things in your brain because they don't often come up naturally. So here you are, like you've just done a workout and automatically your brain is just thinking about high school, it's thinking about, irrelevant things, stupid thoughts, everything, it's just whatever. But you can take a few seconds to think, yes, like you can say the words in your brain, like forcefully, I've completed the workout. I feel awesome. I'm so proud of myself for completing the workout. I've studied today for 25 minutes. It's not like as much as, other people do, but it's quite a high amount for me. So I'm proud of myself. I'm happy. It's of utmost importance that someone, honestly, that's fucking sad, but it's of very much importance for everyone, but especially for children and teenagers, that you're hearing some of these positive words. And I'm sad for you that you're not hearing that from the people in your life and, from school, from teachers, from parents. But our sadness is not going to help us here. Proactiveness is. If other people aren't implanting these positive, happy, joyful words into your mind, then it's your duty to do it yourself. If you are trying to quit video games, the single greatest piece of advice that I can give you is not just to quit video games, but rather to replace them with a hobby or skill that has a very similar feeling of like progression, status, brotherhood, leveling up. And weightlifting is absolutely perfect for this. You go from grinding and leveling up inside of the virtual world and, getting some level of status for like the high score that you're hitting and the boss that you've just killed, to getting into the gym and grinding and leveling up like the weight of the big movements, the bench press and the squat and the deadlift, and you get some level of status there. You get some brotherhood when you work out with guys. Understand this. Every single guy that I have known who has successfully quit video games, which is hundreds of people that I've spoke to in this work that I've done, every single one of them replaced video games with weightlifting. Every time. Literally, like it seems to me that you can like 100% guarantee that you'll quit video games if you'd rather get into weightlifting instead. And it seems to me that people who try to quit video games without specifically getting into weightlifting often don't end up being successful. They often go back to playing video games. Of course, there's some people who have quit playing games and, they ended up doing some other skill or whatever, but it seems to me that weightlifting is probably the best one. On my recent discipline full guide, I actually had a whole section on like how to start going to the gym. It's in like autistic detail of like, okay, this is how you find a gym. This is how you sign up. This is the workout you should hit. I even made the workout routine and linked all the videos that you need to watch to begin. So the discipline full guide will be like linked somewhere as a card that you can go watch now, and just go look out for the section that says like starting the gym. But before you can make progress in quitting video games and moving on and, leveling up in real life, we have to acknowledge that your social life will have a huge influence here. If you're friends with these guys, these losers who are stuck or who are happy in mediocrity, who are happy to continue playing video games, and you stay friends with them, you will stay stuck at this level. Here you are, like a young man who's so different from your friends, but you just haven't really shown it that much. You still keep, for example, pretending to be friends with them. You don't want to play video games, but then you still join the Discord server of your little gamer friends. And it's just kind of agitating to listen to people play games whilst they're on Discord, the voice chat. And so you end up joining and you just like relapse your non-gaming streak and you feel pathetic. And, one of the guys there isn't even nice. He's actually a bit of an asshole and everything. So the piece of advice I'd give you is, if you do genuinely want to quit playing video games, you probably need to stop being friends with the same video gamers, because you'll realize that a lot of your friendship just revolves around the video game, which you might not think it does, because you might laugh about things, you might talk about other things, and, new tape podcast guys and stuff. When you stop playing video games, you'll realize just how little you have in common with them. And the more that you attach yourself to the same people, the less you're going to be able to progress in life, because if they're here at this level, you're trying to climb, but while spending time talking and integrating their beliefs, their mindsets, their words into your brain. So your own self-improvement journey is just slower. Like you're literally delaying the point of which you're going to meet like your beautiful feminine wife, because you're still friends with these guys, and that woman's not going to like you if you're like a fucking loser like this. Because this is below you. The Discord friends, the video games, it is below you. If you're watching a video like this, undoubtedly you are better than that now. You're better than these modern addictions. But too many young guys, they want to quit video games, but they don't quit that friendship group because it feels super painful to leave like the social circle that we're in. You must get used to this concept of shedding layers of your life. That, for example, whilst you were this video gamer, all parts of your life aligned to it. You know, the clothes you wore, the hairstyle you had, the friends you kept, the apps that you had on your phone and on your computer. When you're not like this anymore, you need to almost shed that identity. That means shedding the kinds of clothes that remind you of being a video gamer. That means shedding like the desktop wallpaper that reminds you from it, shedding the Discord server, even the friends, the people who remind you of that lesser version of you, because you're no longer that guy. But if you don't actually make actions in the real world, then you technically haven't changed at all. So this seems scary, but your actionable step is to construct a respectful message, which you're going to send over to this chat, and then you're going to leave straight after that. This is something I've helped quite a lot of young men with, and this is the most effective way to quit playing video games and to like get away from this friendship group that aren't really doing much with their lives. We've tried different ways. Like I've spoke to hundreds of guys speaking about this problem. There's so many different ways you could consider. You can try to just, ghost them a little bit. You can try to just be friendly and be on good terms. None of that ever works. Your real, like, big progress will come from you specifically creating like a full-on, okay, point. I'm like leaving this. I'm no longer this person anymore. This is why I'm saying you construct a respectful message. You don't blame them. You don't say anything bad to them. If you really want this full guide to help you, this is a task that you must do right now. Open up like a Word doc, or maybe just open up the exact Discord server that you usually go to, or the WhatsApp group chat, or whatever it is that you use for these friends. And you just can tell, like, they're not getting onto self-improvement. They're not interested in this. They think that going to the gym is gay. They just want to keep playing games. You're going to construct just a few sentences just saying like, hello everyone, thank you so much for like the experiences and memories that we've had. I'm grateful to have like, experienced this all, but video games that just don't interest me anymore. And I want to like shed this layer of my life and move on to the next part of like my growth as a person. And this is nothing against you guys. I really hope that you keep having lots of fun. Take care. You send a message like that where you don't say anything mean to them, but you just kind of say like, I'm just kind of like shedding the layers of my life or something like that, right? And you end up sending it and then leaving the group chat. You fully like leave the server. And you might think, wait, this is really scary. But you're already past this. You don't even play games with them anymore. You don't even enjoy it. There's no value for you being there. It's just the fear of like stepping into the unknown. It's the fear of just going about it yourself. But what I found is like you almost have to go through this transition period where you have the bad friends, you have this period of loneliness, and then you start making the good friends. The good friends aren't going to be attracted to you when you're still the guy who's in the middle of like a bad video gamer friendship group. It's better to be by yourself than it is with people who are dragging you back and who are like negative influences. When you send this message, you probably will get like a barrage of disrespect. They'll send you a bunch of messages. They will talk about you and chat shit about you, which I know sounds scary. This will last for about 3 days. Their attention span isn't that powerful. After that, they'll go back to playing their games with mild depression, and they'll stop thinking about you. You'll realize that this strong friendship that you thought you had all this time because you speak to each other for 3 hours a day, you'll realize it 100% revolved around video games, which you don't want to play anymore. The best friend, like the nicest guy, the most like awoke guy from the group will probably send you a private message. He's the one that you can try and save and try and get onto self-improvement, but it most likely will be a waste of your time. The exact same dynamic, please trust me when I say, I have seen this happen over 100 times. The work that I've done here is over the last 3 years. This has literally been like my full-time job, is getting guys to like quit the bad habits and start the good ones. Trust me when I say over the last years, it's such a wasted time trying to hold on to these people who aren't even good for you. There's better growth coming from this. And it's not terrible to be alone for some time when you're trying to figure things out and learn who you are and you're navigating self-improvement even more. There's two paths that you can take here. If you do want to join my online community, I have a paid school called Adonis School where we've got like the whole community. Then we've got teachers. We teach you self-improvement tactics. We teach you like business models. I think it's an awesome place to be, and you can like consider joining that. That's the top link in the description. But you can also just join communities and make friends without needing to pay for anything. You can go to the gym and make a workout friend there, like make like a workout partner. And you can even go and find free communities online. It's far better for you to be in the middle of other guys who are on self-improvement, who are going to the gym, who've got values just like you do, than it is to be around people who like you don't even respect anymore.